Hello, Christopher. You're excited for van life tomorrow?
Can't wait! Into my crystal ball. Problem is, I know I'm going to end up on this video, and she's still recording it. Van life. Van life.
This is my brother Chris. He'll be showing us the electrical.
Right after you put the camera down and get the other one mounted so you can go do it with me.
Nope.
Yep. So down here you'll have your electrical box, your electrical panel, your fuse box, and basically all the main components. All the big wire will be down in here. Your alternator power comes from that corner right there. It's going to come down under the floor, over into here. Your solar panels are going to be on the roof. Try to get them to come over in this wall as close as possible. Come down this wall. There's going to be big wires coming down this wall. Try to keep it all down in this area, okay? All the different circuits will start out of here. They'll all be fused under here, so if you blow up a fuse, it's going to be in here. From here, the fuses and things that will run, there'll be one fuse going over here, probably to that corner in that box somewhere. You'll run a wire over there. That'll be a single fuse one for your heated blanket. So you're going to want to run just that right from the fuse box area to that back corner. Probably would be a good spot, so you have somewhere easy to plug in from your bed to plug in your blanket. For the fan circuit, you're going to have another wire coming from here, running down this raceway over to here into the fan area. You want to make sure that you leave some space here. I probably would just run the wire down, hang it down, tape it up for now. When the spray foam is done, you can untape it. You're going to butt splice the end of the wires. Pay attention to the fact that these wires are black and white. You're going to be connecting to red and black wires. In this case, the black wire is positive and will connect to the red wire, and the white wire will connect to the black wire. It's a little weird color coding there, so be careful about that. You're going to butt splice them, stick the two ends, crimp it down, heat shrink it, and that'll be that. And try to keep that kind of near the fan area. So you want to leave yourself a little space here in case you need to remove this unit for cleaning or whatever other random reason you have to remove the unit. Hopefully you don't drive it into a garage or something and take off the lid. This will be for your first outlet on your kitchen island, or not really island, kitchen counter. Come across, come down, somewhere in this area where you want your plug. Pull it out, leave yourself a few inches, probably at least 6 inches. From there, you're going to take a wire, you're going to go up, you're going to go over, you come down, and you have another switch right here. Your lighting circuit will start over here again, come across, bring it down 6 inches or so, leave yourself a wire, cut it, put another wire up, go to the next light, down, leave 6 inches, go back up, go to the next light, etc. Weave your way down, try to minimize the distance. There's nothing that says you can't go straight down the middle. Whatever you want to do, just goes to minimize the distance and leave yourself wires hanging down where you're going to have the lights eventually. So I think that's all of the circuits you need to do. So really what you need to do right now is get these wires up for the lighting, up for the one for the fan, get one over for your heated blanket, get the 3 lighting circuits in, and get the receptacle circuits in. Those are all stuff you need to do right now. And then you need the one on the floor. Make sure you get the one on the floor done to going in here. And then you need to get your solar entrance on the roof cut in, and wherever that's going to come in, you make sure you get that hole cut and all the wires fished down to the battery area. You don't need to land anything down there yet. Just get all the wires in that space.
Happy 2020!
Hey, Happy New Year.
We're starting the year off with our most dreaded task, which is the electrical. Oh, Chris is calling. Great, just who we need. First things first, we are disconnecting the car battery so that we can cut the wire that goes from the alternator, which is right over here on the passenger side. Came with this little doodad thing, which would have been nice to use, but can't find it anywhere online. So we got to figure out what size wire that is and then connect it. We are in a crisis. We went to go pull up the floor. We pulled up the floorboards so that we could kind of cut away this track for the wire, and noticed that there was a ton of water underneath it. And this happened a while ago. I thought we had just spilled some water on the floor. It was kind of damp, but I think what happened was our sliding door didn't close all the way, and it rained, and I think it got in the van. So it started to mold. And I can't think of a worse thing that could possibly happen to your van. But here, see this little guy started to mold up. And then all those boards we had to pull up again. So Philip just went back to the store. We're getting more wood planks, and we have to do it all over again. It's pretty much the worst thing that could happen other than electrocuting yourself, which is what I was really worried about today. If you get mold on your floor and it starts to grow, you have to rip up everything. I'm glad that we found it today rather than, you know, a month and a half from now when everything's bolted in. Make sure your sliding door is closed. One crisis at a time. Eventually we'll get to the electrical.
These are the cords that will connect up with the alternator. We just ran this underneath the floor to minimize the distance, but I think it worked pretty well. And this will be the first source of energy we have for our control panel.
We got the lights.
First light's wired, and don't forget to label.
We've also got zip ties here, holding them where we want them. And we've marked where we want the lights already, measured it out. So it's even, they're all evenly spaced. Yeah. So, we're getting there. We are drilling a hole through one of the beta beams because at the back of the ProMaster, the roof kind of comes down a little, and there's no gap in between the beta and the ceiling like this. So we have to drill a hole again.
6 lights.
6 lights. We need more. We need more wire. That ate up a lot of wire. Don't underestimate how much wire you need. AC wire all the way up to this little guy, and then we went again under the floor all the way up to where the dimmer switch is going to be, right here. Dimmer. And then that starts our light circuit. So it goes all the way up and over. Light 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I'm tired. It's a lot of work. Took all day.
All day. Well, we did have a minor hiccup, so.
Yeah. That'll feel good. And then we'll insulate. Tape it all off.
Yep.
Will be the next step.
And then we tape and insulate. Yep. It's overwhelming. We'll see you next time, which will be in a few days, when we get more wire.
So we're back at it. We have no power in the house today. It's been raining since 3 this morning, but it's not going to stop us. Thankfully, we're on the second part of the electrical, so we'll just be doing a lot more cutting, making sure everything's wired up.
Now we are on to the outlets and the vent fan and the fridge. I think that's it. Just thinking some positive thoughts. We went for a walk because it's cold and we still don't have power. But we finished all the wiring today, and I just can't wait to start building and to be done with the electrical, which is this beast that I just can't seem to get over. It terrifies me every time we start. How about you? What are your positive thoughts?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. It's January 14th.
This is our January video, so gotta remind everybody.
Yes. Stick to your resolutions.
Ours is to finish the van.
Yeah. Morning, guys. All right, it's our first cold day in the van. It's freezing. Okay, So,
good morning, friends.
Very exciting. We finished the wiring, like I said last night. But, you know, we have to, like, put in the electrical boxes. And we're just doing that to keep everything organized. You really only need an electrical box for AC wires to make sure everything is safe and you don't electrocute yourself, just in case. But most of our stuff is DC. We're using the boxes just to kind of organize all the crazy wires on the walls. But in order to do that, we have to put in some furring strips. My favorite.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we were having a hard time figuring out how to make this flush with the wall, and it turns out these circuit boxes have a little setup, so you can spin the guy around like that and adjust it to wherever you need it. So that's pretty cool. We did not know that, so we're gonna bring it all the way forward so that it's flush against our future wall.
We only have one thing left to go before we can spray foam, which is mount solar panels to our roof.
The solar panels will be connected to this guy, and then this guy will be connected to the super struts. The goal was to make as few holes in the roof as possible, and it would usually be 16 holes, but instead we're doing it with 4 holes because we're only using 2 big bolts to mount the super struts.
Oh my god.
Can you pinch the bottoms together?
Guys, our solar panels, I should probably start over. Our solar panels are different, but they're the same. They're supposed to be the same,
They're supposed to be the same.
but they're different. And now we have solar panels with 2 different holes. One's there, and on this one, it's like a different area. God. So now we have to figure out that conundrum.
It messes up everything. It had to be perfectly aligned for the whole plan to work.
Yeah. So it doesn't matter that these are like, you know, that they look different on the outside, but the issue that we're having is, oops, I put you down for a second. These holes don't line up, and we were gonna run a beam, you know, this way. I don't know, I think it'll still work.
She has more hope than I do.
Hey. Okay, so originally we had wanted to do it this way because, and then run the beam along with this because we'd have more points of contact into the beam. But because our panels are slightly different lengths, we have to go this way, and we'll just line the panel up with this middle bolt here. And this can be adjusted. That's the general plan.
All right, so I'm up here laying out the super struts. You can see I've got the cone nut. That's where the solar panel will connect in there and there. That'll be our first panel. Just send a bolt down and it locks it with this nylon.
46 inches across.
10 feet long for each beam, 46 inches across. I think we're ready to get the panel and see how it looks. I think it's looking good.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Cool, right?
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's one. It's not bolted in yet.
How many more?
3.
Where to now?
Colby, what do you think of our solar setup?
I think it's legit.
There it is.
Bolt number 1.
Bolt number 1. It's nighttime already. Happened quick. Here's what we're doing next.
Trying to secure the roof racks. Here's the rubber well nut. You can see once we have it all set up, it'll look like this. And the roof and the metal beam will be filling in that gap right there. So as you tighten this, it actually pulls this rubber up and secures it that way. So it's specifically made for thin roofs.
It's so cool,
so you
isn't
can
it?
increase the surface area.
Yeah.
After that, we're using our big boy bolts on each end. This style's a little different. This one we're going bottom up. So we're going up. So it's bolt, washer,
And
rubber washer, roof of the van, metal super strut, and then lock nut, galvanized, and
Nut.
a nut on top of that.
Pro tip, do not mix zinc and galvanized, and then also don't mix zinc and galvanized, don't mix stainless steel and galvanized metal because the stainless will eat away the galvanized. That's something we learned from our friend at Lowe's. Or maybe it was your dad, I can't remember.
Christopher and Ken actually brought that to our attention. First time.
Ooh, bright.
Yeah, a little bright, but we're working in the dark. It's almost dinner time,
Okay.
getting hungry.
Yeah.
So we'll knock this out.
Let's do it. Oh, that's weird.
There's the rubber compressing in. We're probably going to seal a bit around there just to be triple sure. Put some silicone around there, but I think it's good. I mean, it said that's all you had to do, and that's a rubber on metal watertight seal.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, pretty goofy looking. What? Okay, slow down.
Okay.
So you need about one more spin.
Okay.
You should be good. One more full rotation.
Oh, man.
Okay, stop.
Okay. Whew.
Okay.
That's it? Good?
Another half.
Oh, jeez. Oh, babe, I can't do it anymore.
That might be the sign then.
Ugh.
Okay.
Whew.
Yeah, babe, you were probably right all along. That bad boy's gonna hold it.
Oh, well, we're extra safe. All right. Rubber bolt. No, rubber washer.
Okay. Is that our one
Yes.
going up?
Yeah. We are still not spray foamed. And we're kind of just finding other projects to do in the meantime. We still never bolted down our floor, like for real. So we're doing that today. Right there. There it is, all bolted in. One floorboard at a time. And yeah, we're slowly making our way. But exciting to attach our floorboards basically so that they're, they stay together right along this seam here. We are using one of these guys right down on the seam like this, screwed in, and that kind of locks both of the things together. But we need to make sure that this isn't poking up outside of the vinyl because it'll look weird with the vinyl. So we're using one of these.
Woo!
Dun, dun, dun.
Dremel
It's a
tool.
Dremel. It's a complicated tool. We've never used it before, so we have to practice.
Goal is to get it precisely here, like that. So let's see.
How do you use it?
It's the on and off switch.
This one?
Yep.
This is
Whoa,
my
okay. Okay.
We're just trying to figure out how to use this thing. Biggest lesson of a DIY is just keep trying.
Or just get tongue and groove and skip the step altogether.
We got our little plates to fit pretty well on the floorboards, and now we just have to screw them in right along here. Reporting from the inside of a very well taped off van. Today we taped everything off to make sure none of the spray foam would overspray onto whatever we needed to mount stuff to. So, want to take it around?
Yeah. You know, we basically want him to spray foam all the big panels, the ceiling, and anywhere where there's weird wires or joints going through, we're gonna save for later and do with the leftover floor insulation. So I think we're all ready to go. We got a killer deal. Hopefully he knows what he got himself into, but
Yeah, I don't think he does.
At least he can stand while he does it, and we'll get the ceiling sprayed up pretty well, and it'll make the whole thing feel warm and soundproof, and a little stinky at first, but.
One note, we wanted to make sure you guys, if anyone's watching this building their van, we wanted to make sure you knew was this little tip that Philip found from a guy on Instagram. So check this out. This clear stuff we put in ourselves. It's the silicone. It's like this weird little rubbery things. Basically, your van comes with this little goop around most of the seams. But this guy who's a professional spray foamer told Philip that if there's any gaps in this little goop part, so like this was totally, it's kind of blurry, this was totally empty. He was like, if the spray foam gets in there, that's what causes warping on the outside of your van. So you want to make sure to fill all of those little cracks, and then it won't warp. Right, bud?
We'll find out on Wednesday. Hopefully we don't have any warping, but we're going to set up space heaters in the van to make sure the metal's nice and toasty before we bring it down there. And then we're actually going to use our battery and keep the heaters going full blast all the way until we get down there, because the foam gets very hot. So we want the metal to be like 80 degrees, and we actually pushed it off another week because it was freezing out. So eventually, if this van becomes a ski van, it will have been worth it.
Yes, it will.
4 seasons. Here we come.
I forgot to press record.
Oh, what are you going to do?
Anyway, we will see you on Wednesday for spray foaming.
Woo!
We are spray foamed.
Woo!
He did a good job.
Yep. Well, I'm glad we taped so well, because see, this would have been real tough to get off, but now that it's on the tape, it just peels right off. No need to scrape.
Yeah. Check it out.
Very hard stuff. It looks good. It saved us a lot of time. We were here for about an hour.
Okay, so what was his name?
He never introduced himself.
No name, spray foam man in Memphis. I think there was only 2. If you happen to be in Memphis and are watching this and need a spray foam guy, just look up spray foam, and I think they'll both come up. I didn't record that last one. So anyway, now we get to start building, and I mean, that's about it. Yeah, we are ready. That was the last step we were kind of waiting for to like move on to next projects. It feels warmer in there. Anyway, have a good night, guys. I think we'll check in again this weekend. So this isn't goodbye yet. See you soon. Guess we're not putting the solar panels on today. Well,
How are we supposed to get anything done? Can't even get to the van.
this is a river. Check back in with you guys later.